Of you DISHIN Days fans, welcome to AfterBuzz TV's DISHIN Days, where we give you a full recap of your favorite soap opera, Days of Our Lives. I am your host and birthday boy today, Tony Moore, and I am also joined by my lovely co-host, whose hair is higher than Teresa's little black dress for Basic Black.
Mark J. Freeman in the house.
Yay! And of course, we are supposed to have my chocolate twin, James Lott Jr., but he is still traveling and on vacation. Traveling. I was actually talking to him the other day. It was New Year's Eve. And he was like, oh, we have a couple of hours before I'm supposed to get to the airport, and I haven't packed yet. Yet we had a whole hour conversation.
Oh, well, he's a super organizer.
He is a super organizer.
He's probably pre-packed.
No, he wasn't pre-packed at all. I don't even think it was a pre-thought. So, James Lott Jr., we know that you are here with us, and we do have some videos that he sent in. But before we get into all of our DISHIN Day stuff, Mark, how was your holiday vacation
to Germany and Austria?
To Germany.
It was fantastic. Yeah. My husband was working, so it was actually really cool because almost all the flight attendants that were working the flight to Munich all brought family because they were like, well, we're going to be in Munich for the holidays. Everybody should just come. So it was actually really kind of cool that even the pilot came over and he was like, what's with all these non-revs in first class? And I was making fun of all of us for being in first class and everything. And
you were traveling first class?
On the way there, I flew first class on the way there. Yeah, I got first class. And so it was fun. We had a great time. I finally got to do like one of the German Christmas markets on Christmas Eve. And then saw a couple castles. I saw the Schloss Neuschwanstein Castle finally,
the what?
Schloss Neuschwanstein Castle, which is the castle. It's the castle you've seen millions of pictures of. It's the one that Disney, they designed their Disney castle after.
Oh, okay.
It was the one they modeled it after. It was King Ludwig, his castle, one of his many castles. But I got to go see that. I did that was a day trip on my own after Philip left because I had 2 days by myself.
Yeah.
So that was one day, and then the next day I went to Salzburg for the day. Because that's how I roll.
All the while traveling through the German mountains, sipping cocktails, and thinking of Billy Flynn.
I did send him a picture because I got to see the, I think I posted it on Facebook, I'm not sure, the stairs from The Sound of Music where they come up singing the Do-Re-Mi at the very end when she hits the high note. I took a picture. It's the Mirabelle Gardens in Salzburg, and it was so funny because I stumbled upon it as I was leaving Salzburg because I was so bummed I didn't do the Sound of Music tour because I really wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And there was on their website it said that they weren't having it. So I got there late, and when I got there, the tours were going on.
Yeah.
And I totally could have done it, and I just, because their website told me they didn't have it.
Rude.
I got there late, so I didn't get to do it. So that bus, the Sound of Music tour, as I was walking, it would pass me, and I would be like, you son
you! Why I oughta.
So I took a picture of that, and I sent it to Billy because I knew he used to watch Sound of Music with his grandmother. So I was like, I thought you could appreciate this more than Tony.
Of course. You're right about that.
So what did you do?
Well, I traveled to South Carolina. South Carolina.
I don't know why. I swear
everyone does that.
Well, no, but I swear I read that you wrote North Carolina, and I thought he's from South Carolina, and I was like, oh, well, maybe he's doing something different. So that's why I tweeted North Carolina.
Nah, I think it always happens. Like whenever I tell people I'm from South Carolina, they always say, oh yeah, North Carolina, and I'm like, no, South. So I went to South Carolina. I had oh boy,
I didn't break it.
I had Christmas with my mom, my sister, and my niece because my sister is moving to Japan. In a couple of days. And they'll be over there for 3 years. So
wow.
Yeah, so a nice place to go visit.
Exactly.
And so we did that, and then we drove down to Alabama to see our extended family. And then I did Atlanta, and I went to Atlanta for New Year's Eve with my bestie Paris, and then I came back. And I got back last night.
Good.
And I have to give a shout out to Columbia, South Carolina, because my friend Daryl Bird when I went home was like, when you be doing all your stuff, you need to make sure that you give a shout out to your hometown. You need to make sure you represent. So you need to make sure you represent. So I better hear that shout out. So Daryl Bird, there is your shout out. Hello, everyone in Columbia, South Carolina.
There you go.
All the people that I know there.
I'm sure at some point I've given a shout out to Lorain, Ohio.
You've given a shout out to everybody. But nobody more so than Billy Flynn.
He deserves that.
I don't get it. There was someone else that didn't get it this week too, and we'll talk about that. All right. So,
but before we go into Dishin Days,
oh yes,
we have a very special message for you from our co-host who couldn't be here today.
Oh.
So Zach, if you want, I always want to say, will you roll that beautiful bean footage?
I'm gonna have a pizza roll while we watch this.
And I think it's up here so we can see.
Okay.
See me. Hi, you guys. It's me coming to you from cold, but sunny downtown Chicago.
Sounds like LA.
One of the rivers. I wish I could be there, you guys. Tony Moore, happy 44th birthday.
You tried it. Tried it.
Just kidding, of course. As you say, I tried it. Sorry I can't be there, and I know Dishin Days fans are there for you today. When I get back, lunch is on me. I hope the next year brings you great wealth, good health, and lots of laughter. That's with 2 T's and lot. And love to meet it. Bye.
Oh, thank you, James Lott Jr.
Yes.
He did try it, though. I don't look 44.
45.
I don't look that either. I still look 19.
Ish. Ish. 19-ish.
Oh, thank you guys. And thank you guys so much for all of the birthday messages and tweets.
And you got cake and pizza rolls.
And yes, and I walked in
Martinelli's.
and I had my balloon, which Mark said he tried to find one as big as my head. We have cake. We've been eating on the pizza rolls. So
He's not 44, guys, just so you know.
No. I'm 33, actually.
33.
Yeah. 33rd birthday.
So I'm 10 years older than you. Almost exactly.
Really? I knew it.
I feel it.
All right, well, so we won't hold this up any longer. It is now time to... I should do it. It's my birthday.
Oh, okay, yeah, you should.
It's now time to start...
Dishin Days. Don't hit the balloon. Watch the balloon. Be careful. All these... Our table full of goodies.
I know.
Watch my Emmy.
I know.
I like how it's getting closer to me.
Oh, I just switched it over there. I mean, you can have it today. I mean, I had to turn over the hourglass. Shh. It's not Billy.
That's for my reel.
Shh. Oh, it's for your reel?
Yeah! Finally won it!
Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram, Dishin Days. Yeah. All right. So let's kick things off with Kate, Teresa, and Nicole. Three
and
folks.
are we going to include the runway and all this as well?
We can. I had it in tidbits, but we can include it in this as well. Let's talk about it all. First of all, let's talk about the fact that Kate is trying to run everything, and I'm not quite sure how I feel about that because they went into this as a 3-way partnership. And Kate was actually supposed to be a very, very silent partner who has become someone who's been very loud.
Which I loved Nicole's statement. She's like, what did she say? She's like, Kate has a different definition of silent or something.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
While they were being interviewed by Downtown Julie Brown.
Yeah.
Okay, well, first of all, my first thought was that Downtown Julie Brown? Mm-hmm. But then my next thought was, y'all can get anyone else? I mean, that sounds really bad. but I feel like Downtown Julie Brown is like more like our generation.
Yeah.
And I feel like I know she's still doing stuff, but I felt like someone.
Well, I feel like we kind of started talking about this.
I was about to sound really bad.
We kind of started talking about this off air, and I stopped because I wanted to save it for on air. Mm-hmm. I just feel like everything that had to do with the runway show and everything was kind of second. Like it wasn't to the level it should have been. Mm-hmm. My first thought was, okay, you made the conscious decision to make Teresa a fashion designer. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to have a fashion show, like research fashion shows, mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like you mean to tell me in Los Angeles, you couldn't find somebody who would want their designs on showcased on Days of Our Lives. They'd be willing to give you some of their designs to use that actually look like new inventive designs, not little. I mean, come on, some of those dresses, I was like, really, that's what we came up with, and then putting Christopher Sean, don't get me wrong, you know I love me some Christopher Sean, but to have him mixed in
and just by himself.
And by himself, being the only guy that you don't typically have guys mixed in with women. And we were talking about this off air.
Yeah.
In a runway show, it's either for women or for men. Every once in a while, I guess they do mix them in. But,
yeah.
And the fact you mentioned this was that there were 3 designers supposedly.
Yeah, but you couldn't tell
you couldn't,
which designer did what. And actually, when they all came down the runway, I was like, who are the other 2 people? And it didn't click that they were the other designers until like a couple of scenes later. And I was like, oh, that wasn't really specified in that. But another thing was, there was actually a part where they showed Christopher Sean in his outfit and in the I think it was like a maroon jacket type of a thing or whatever. They cut to someone else and then they cut to him again walking back out. And I was like, no, that's actually the same outfit.
That's what I thought too. Okay, I'm glad I wasn't just me.
You weren't the only one. And then I also just first of all, let's go to the cat fight.
Yeah, that someone else was just talking about that.
The cat fight, I felt like no model would be that unprofessional,
right? To
where they would then rip each other's clothes,
right?
And I didn't get the point of that because I felt like the character of Teresa was already under enough stress.
Yeah.
And another thing I didn't understand is, why was she hand sewing?
I agree
all of her stuff.
I agree. She wouldn't have been hand sewing. Although they did talk about the fact that she needed seamstresses and good seamstresses to fix the designs, which I'm glad that they actually talked about. But again, it's like you're sitting down. Like, isn't it part? This is why I would love to have writers in here, although they probably will never come because of how much I trash them. Isn't part of your job to do the research and figure out like how to do this honestly and truthfully? And I just feel like they just don't. They just go in and they write whatever they want to write. They don't care if they're dot their I's and cross their T's as long as their story is being told, which half the time isn't even worth telling, in my opinion. I don't know. I've said it before. I'm kind of getting really annoyed with everything. And if Billy Flynn wasn't on the show, I don't know if I'd still watch.
Well, here's the thing. Like, as a designer, I always picture her as someone who would simply just, like, this is what it's supposed to look like. You turn it into the team of seamstresses who've been hired for Basic Black, and then you make the corrections from that point on. You know, being a lover of Project Runway and having some designer friends.
I
know. But just like the stresses she was under and trying to sew, and they were like talking about the construction and doing all that, and then for Kate being a businesswoman to be like, her construction is not that great. Well, she's not the one that's supposed to be constructing it.
Right.
Like, it's supposed to be your team of seamstresses that are doing that. And then the fact that you wouldn't hire seamstresses to do it kind of made me feel like, okay, so you, for whatever reason, Kate, you want Teresa to fail.
Well, and I think that's kind of what, and I think that's, maybe this is a prediction, but I think that's kind of where this is leading to, is that Kate was, I think, clearly setting them up for failure, so that she, like, because she tells Pierre, don't even get me started on Pierre, don't even get me started, that she's, after today, I'll be running Basic Black. She actually makes that statement. So, and like, and you said, I'm not really digging this Kate. Like, it's just, it's not like I don't mind Kate being ruthless for family, and I don't mind Kate being ruthless for a heartfelt, genuine reason. But just to be malicious is just not Kate.
That's not her.
No.
I will say this tidbit. Our favorite fan, William Shatner, I tweeted him and I was like, "Are you still watching Days?" And he was like, he had seen bits and pieces, and he was like, "Who's the like Devil Wears Prada-esque character that keeps appearing on the show?" And I was like, "Oh, I think you're talking about Lauren Kozlow."
Yeah.
So sure, I thought, okay, great. So I thought that was a fun moment, but okay. So you mentioned Pierre. And I'm gonna talk about him. First of all, that fashion, hideous. There is no way in the world that any of that would have hit the runway.
Project Runway Juniors.
Not even Project Runway Juniors.
That's true. That's
Not even
true.
Project Runway Juniors.
That's true.
And so, you know, when it's like, I don't know. And I agree with you that this would have been a great opportunity to maybe showcase a designer and give them a credit.
Yeah.
You know, to so that you do look like you have some fashions that aren't pulled from like
The rack
of some sort. Also, the show itself was dark. Like you couldn't
see.
like the light was not hitting how it should. Like it should have just stayed up so that we could consistently see
Well, and I think
the
that's
runway.
well, I think part of the reason they were doing that is because they knew that the fashions weren't up to par. So they were like, well, we'll just make it dark so they don't see how
I still saw.
Although the only one that I really liked was there was one, I think the top was black and it had white stuff coming in it, and then and it looked like little feathery stuff, and then the skirt I think was white with black on it, so they're kind of like the reverse. That was the only one that I was like, oh, they really like that.
Also the energy of the show itself was just not like they started it and everyone was just kind of like and like even the feel of this was
the
not
looks
really
between Kate and Nicole. Did you notice that? Like they just kept showing them glaring at each other, and I'm just like,
I think how it was supposed to come across was Nicole being like, I told you this was a hit, and Kate having to kind of sit there and suck it up and go, you were right. but not really
got it,
be like, you know, oh yeah, they really are good.
Pierre should be on Project Runway Blind Edition.
So I don't know, like I like the fact that Nicole is stepping up and you know, supporting Teresa, and I'm glad that, you know, she kind of recognizes what Kate's doing. But again, Kate always has a motive for what she does. Right. And there's no motive to destroy Nicole and Teresa, because this started off with Kate and Nicole being great and trying to butt out Teresa like, you don't know business. And then all of a sudden it's just like Kate is just in control, and then Nicole and Teresa are bonding. So I don't know. Well,
and I can't help to think too that all that talk about the money that Belle has, that Teresa wants Brady to get that money to buy out Kate and stuff like that. I have a feeling that's going to resurface again too. So I think that's kind of where all this is leading to. But again, you know, we talked about this before with other storylines. It's like, you know, you set this whole thing up to have these three have this company together, only to tear it apart. So it just kind of, it seems a little weird to me.
I do appreciate the fact that we are seeing brand new sets. Like
oh my God, thank God.
Yeah, I appreciate the fact that they didn't try to make this happen in Town Square.
Even like the hotel room stuff, at least each one's different now. Like Ava's room is different from Billy Flynn's room.
You mean Chad?
His den of love. Yes, Chad. Just saying. But I'm just, you know what I mean? Like, I love seeing Steve and Kayla's house and stuff like that too. So.
And then we also saw that Teresa gave Brady a nameplate that still said Titan on it.
CEO of Titan.
And there seems to be some sort of thing there with Brady and watching Philip. Yeah, kind of take over the company and all that. And I do think Brady was just kind of pushed out. It's not like he wasn't doing a great job. It was just he chose Teresa. But I think
he just chose the honorable thing to do, which is a very Brady thing to do. I think so. And he says they said that this week too. He said, I made the decision to do this. I wasn't forced out. So
yeah. So I mean, all in all, the fashion show was. I mean, I actually put fashion show.
Yeah.
Because all of Salem was gonna
Everybody
be here.
Was there.
And, you know, it was gonna be like such a big to do, and then it was just kind of like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I was gonna say when I have to give a little props to Gabby when the fight happened between the models, and she brought it up, and Anne was like, "You go, girl," and she's like, "I had a little practice." I actually kind of laughed. I was like, "Okay, that's kind of funny."
That's funny.
Yeah.
Speaking of Anne, I'm really not quite sure how she fits in.
I don't know. Are we lost our connection with everybody in the world, or just?
What do you mean?
Because my picture's gone.
Oh,
I mean, the chat's still moving, but
nope, mine's back. I just had to refresh it.
oh, okay.
As they saw me grab a pizza roll. But I really don't know how Anne mixes in, because it doesn't seem like she mixes in well.
Yeah, well, she never. I mean, you know my opinion. I just,
still,
and I actually saw this somewhere. I think somebody tweeted it. The fact that Eve wasn't at the fashion show. Like, I'm so upset because I feel like they've missed such an opportunity to have Eve and Teresa.
Well, yes. Oh,
in more
and
scenes together, and cahoots together.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not saying anything against Anne, but it's just, sometimes it's just like, I feel like it's just there.
Comic relief?
For comic relief.
Here's the thing that I thought would have been hilarious. And I think we said this before. No, we said it at Day of Days. Was if the saving grace for Basic Black was going to be a wrap dress. And like in this collection,
we need Anne.
Yeah, and in this collection they featured like an updated wrap dress. Like I feel like there was a missed opportunity there.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of with Kate on this. I don't get why she's there. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's pretty much that. And then there was a lot of other things that happened at the fashion show that just kind of came together, but we'll talk about it throughout
in the later parts. But then we also have now well, I guess the biggest thing with the whole Chad, Abby, Belle is that it's out now that Thomas is Chad's.
Well,
which we all knew.
Yes. Well, here's the thing that makes me laugh is that Abigail not wanting to give up, and she is just coming out of nowhere. First it was First it was Club TBD where she was like, excuse me. So just to let you know, Chad last week told me that he loved me.
No,
and
yesterday.
Yesterday, Chad told me that he loved me.
Yeah.
And Belle's just sitting there like,
oh,
okay.
She cray.
Yeah. And then when she busts into the DeMera mansion and said, I know you guys have done something to him. Mm-hmm. What have you done?
She was ruthless. Yes.
And then her going to Marlena and being like, what did you do?
Well, it's so funny because when she saw the file with Dr. Marlena Evans on it, I was like, what is she up to?
I thought she was going to steal the files.
I know, I did too. I was like, she going to start stealing files?
Yeah. But no, but you know what? That was actually a good thing that she went, because then Marlena was like, I'm going to tell you something.
That's kind of when they pieced it together.
Yeah. Well, that's when Abigail pieced it together.
Yeah.
And then, okay, this is what always gets me, is that I feel like as a fan whose arms are just out and I just receive whatever it is that they do, for Abigail to talk to someone like Marlena, who she is like an OG, been there, done that.
Yeah.
Can probably put the pieces of the puzzle together.
Right.
Like almost in that moment, I wish sometimes they didn't make them seem like, oh, I never thought of that. Like when Abigail was like, maybe under hypnosis, they made him, go after blah, blah, blah. And I would love for Marlena to say, you know what? Not far-fetched, because they brainwash. I bet he's brainwashed.
Well, didn't she say something like that?
Well, it's just kind of like,
that's far-fetched, but I guess it's possible.
Well, it's just kind of like, well, I never thought of that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's possible. Mm-hmm. Well, no.
Yeah, and anything's possible.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, hello.
Yeah.
Your husband was brainwashed into thinking that he was somebody completely different. So yeah.
Yeah.
At this point, like, I wish they would have an episode. Days writers, I wish, just like they did that episode of EJ and Sammy's like whole dream sequence or whatever. I wish they would give us one episode where people were just like, yeah, of course they're gonna do that. Like you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like that episode where we're like, yes, that's how we think too.
Yeah. No, I agree. Someone in here just said that they think Belle will end up pregnant, but they never had sex.
No, they didn't have sex because
I was watching.
Because Abigail once again busted up in there. Yeah. And speaking of Belle,
I love her.
You know what? I'm glad you said
A lot
that.
of people are not liking her.
I love the way Martha Madison has evolved Belle. She
I
is like
agree,
this.
100%.
She's like this tough, like she's like a tough cookie.
Yeah.
Now, like she's not so like soft and innocent.
Mm-hmm.
She's just kind of like that, like really,
Yeah.
kind of person now.
Yeah. Well, you know, and it's so funny, and I'm going to keep going back to this.
To a Billy Flynn moment.
No, actually, Lauren Kozlow moment when she talked about taking over.
Oh, Kate.
Yeah.
And how she was like, it didn't intimidate her.
Yeah,
because
and she's
in
like, you know,
theater,
it's
do
like
it all
how
the time.
this is just how I play this part.
Yeah.
You know, it's like in the theater, you know, you come in to play Hamlet, your Hamlet's going to be different from your Hamlet.
Yeah.
And you, as an actor, you just kind of have to go, you know, this is my best interpretation of this.
Yeah.
And I really do. And you know, and to the people that are upset that she's not the innocent, cute, sweet
But she
Belle,
was that
but
long
that's,
time ago.
I mean, I was a lot sweeter and cuter when I was younger. I know it's hard to believe, but it's true. My dark side didn't evolve until my my 40s.
Right.
I still don't really have a dark side.
So yeah.
But I like her. I
do
like it.
too.
I love her and Billy together. I think
do.
they play off of each other very well.
That whole push and pull thing.
Yeah.
I'm not because I feel like she has figured it out. She's like, you know what? Nope. I know exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's kind of like guilty, but then it's just kind of like they make her now seem like this like rebound, like she's on the rebound
Yeah.
type of a thing, and she's torn between Chad, and then she goes with Philip.
Well, but
and then-
I think the Chad thing is going to be, once this is over, that's done. Like, I don't
Yeah.
think that's going to play out.
And I think it's coming to an end because you know, on days, love is stronger than any hypnosis, brainwash, chloroform that can happen to anyone. And you can tell that the feelings that Chad has for Abigail are very strong because every little thing he's like
Triggers,
consistently
yeah.
still like thinking about her. Mm-hmm. So
I don't know why James Lott Jr. just said Mark tried it. I don't know. What did I try? Oh, that I'm not mean? Is that what he's saying?
probably,
Rude.
there's a slight delay.
James Lott Jr.
Oh, yep, that's what it was. Because it says Tony's reaction says it all.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm liking Philip. I really do. Again, I think it's an evolution of the character.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think if J. Kenneth Johnson came in and played it, obviously it's going to be different.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like it. I kind of like, you know, it's, and again, I think it has to do with Brady, the yin and yang of them, you know, the good brother, the bad brother, you know what I mean, kind of thing. So, or grandson, I guess they're not really, they're uncle, Philip's his uncle.
I don't know. Well, actually, when they had that whole interaction on Christmas,
I loved that.
That was great. Brady, Justin, and Philip.
Yeah.
With
And
Victor.
when Justin agreed to do the Santa, and Philip was like, "Oh, I'll take pictures."
I'll take pictures.
And the look on his face, I was
Yeah.
cracking. He actually had some really good reactions to things. that
Oh,
made
and then
me laugh.
when he came out as Santa, and he's just like,
Yeah, and
the
he was
whole time.
yeah, I
But then
loved it.
that was a
Ooh, what am I
moment
doing?
where I needed James Lott Jr. to tell me how are they related.
So no, I think Philip is Brady's uncle because Philip is Victor's son
Right.
and Brady is Victor's grandson. Isabella would have been Philip's half sister.
Okay.
Brady's mother would have been
Lost already.
Philip's half sister. I do believe that is correct, and I think James Lott Jr. would be very proud of me for knowing that. I don't know much, but that one I do know. But you know what I didn't understand, and I need to ask James Lott Jr., our historian, when Nicole met Ava, and she was like, "Oh, my drinking buddy." So I don't remember their thing from the past.
I don't remember either, but I'm just gonna go with Nicole because that was probably during her drinking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, because she's probably the only person in Salem that actually likes Ava.
Yeah.
Because everyone else seemed to have a problem with her.
Yeah. And speaking of Ava,
Yes.
she's there's here's what I'm gonna say, because I know we talked about her with Joey and like how ridiculous it is, but I actually am kind of enjoying the fact that they're actually making him act like a 16-year-old who's pining after this woman.
Right.
Like, I have to give them kudos for that, because it is kind of funny to watch him, because that's totally what a 16-year-old would do.
Yes.
Following her around, watching her, sending her texts going, who is he?
Yeah.
I thought it was spot on.
Yes.
Spot on. I still think it's rape.
I still would like to know what her plan is. Because as of this moment, it doesn't make sense. And thank you, Days, for bringing Finn back, because I totally forgot about him.
Yeah. He keeps kind of
popping in and out, and he hasn't had any, like...
And I'm kind of annoyed that, I mean, Nicole is there enough, I guess, but I just feel like she's being wasted too.
Yeah.
And she's so good.
Yeah, she is.
So good.
She is. But yeah,
Kayla forgave Ava.
Kayla did forgive her, which is great. But it's just still one of those things, like, what is your underlying plan? Like, are you going to get them together only to tear them apart?
Did see that there's a baby now.
Yeah, who is that baby?
Yeah, that's what my thing is. I'm wondering if it's Steve's baby.
And I was like...
Or she's going to make it sound like it's Steve's baby.
I was like, that isn't Joey, is it?
No, I don't think so. That would be creepy. Yeah. I think, there's something with the baby in some regards.
All these little pieces are in her playing sick, and like and she's just all like, I've done my research this time. I'm like, you know it's gonna fail.
Yeah. Yeah, someone who's Loretta says she wants to know who the baby is in Ava's picture. Does anyone know who is the baby in the picture that Ava was looking at? Josephina said. So, baby picture is
Someone
Steve's
said I also think
father.
that Chase is Ava and Steve's son.
Chase is Ava and Steve's son?
What if that is Chase in the picture?
I guess it's possible.
It'd be stupid.
I don't know.
I don't know about that. Because I think we're also all trying to figure out, why is Chase still there?
Yeah. Yeah.
But granted, Chase doesn't have anyone else. Like, his parents are both gone.
Dead.
So where was he supposed to go? To like foster care?
For now.
What do you mean for now?
Until they come back.
No one's coming back. After September 1st,
well, maybe his mother.
Dead.
His mother, she would die. She died off camera before all this happened.
Well, I guess.
So that's possible.
I don't know.
Just saying.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Is there anything else with that storyline?
Now, do we... somebody actually said this.
What?
Speaking of what we were just talking about with the deaths and that no one's coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else made a comment. I don't think it was on Twitter, or somebody sent like a link to something where people were talking about whether that whole article was another setup.
For New Salem?
Yeah, like another, like, we're gonna kill off all these people, but we're gonna bring them all back. But it was just kind of like, we're not gonna do this. What would you say about that?
I honestly think that they are not going to bring those people back. I think everything has been null and void.
Yeah.
I think there's no way to explain how those people will then come back.
Well, we said that 10 years ago too.
I mean...
And now they're walking around Salem like nothing ever happened to them anymore.
The only explanation is like they were all, doppelgangers, but the real ones got kidnapped and they're all being held hostage. No, I think all these characters are gone. I really do think so.
Yeah.
I really
mean, at least the
gone.
Jonases, I'm hoping.
Oh my God. You know Jonas is coming back. Did you like that nice zoom in on Melanie's Christmas ornament to make sure you guys were aware that she might be coming back?
Yeah, they lingered on that for a long time too. I was like, ugh, let's go. Next ornament.
I almost did a video of it just for you so that you could see it.
Yes, she is coming back to all those people who are tweeting me about her coming back and my thoughts on that. And I think you know my thoughts on it. Of course she's got to come back. Her father's going to bite the dust. So,
I really, really wish that people would leave it up to the element of surprise.
You're talking about the show.
Like, well, I don't know the show necessarily because I don't know how it gets out.
Well, they clearly... Okay, there are so many shows on television where secrets and surprises are the key to that show. How many Scream movies have they done? And this is, you know, like they sign these contracts and they say, you know, anything gets leaked, you know, this and that. They can do it. It is not impossible for them to do it.
No.
They're just being lazy and they don't want to do it.
Is this Red Velvet?
It is. With the cream cheese frosting. No, and that's what we were talking about that earlier too. And I was just like, it's just so frustrating to me because, you know, part of what daytime has always been about has been that element of surprise.
And I feel like it's not there anymore.
Ellen, there's never a surprise. Even when there's stuff that I don't know about, the day before it happens, they release the information about it.
I feel like now we're just watching, like, okay, like we know what's going to happen. Now we're just seeing what's going to lead, how it's going to lead up to that.
To the next, yeah, exactly. And it's annoying.
Yeah.
It's really annoying.
I agree. Okay. I agree with you, Mark.
Done. So what's next on our checklist?
All right, so
next is
Hope and Rafe.
Hope and Rafe.
Okay, so let's just the whole gist of their like 1 day episode was Hope still investigating her own case.
Yeah,
and
she snuck out his file.
Did anyone else not think that was ridiculous?
I think it's ridiculous.
First of all, I feel like Rafe knew what she was going to do.
I do too.
That's why he went and got the peanut brittle.
Yeah,
and the fact, and first of all, you can't leave someone like that alone in the office.
Yeah.
And you mean to tell me with all the cops that are there, she had enough time to take pictures of every single page and not get caught?
Yeah. Although I did like the ending of that episode where it was kind of cutting back and forth real quick.
They were both like Stefano DiMera.
Yeah. Well, one said Stefano and the other one said DiMera.
Excuse me.
Huh?
Excuse me.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Oh, whatever. So Hope is still doing that, and they're still investigating what, you know, Dr. Malcolm and what happened with Bo and
I'm just again, I'm gonna say it again because these people technically did not kill Bo. Bo died of a tumor in his head.
That could have been prevented
not necessarily.
Had they not,
because he didn't know he even had it while he was captive.
He knew something was wrong.
No, he didn't.
Off camera.
Now you're just defending that.
Well, I'm trying to. Let's see. I agree with Tony, Mark, and James. What I find interesting is that neither Sean Christian nor Ariane Zucker has confirmed that Daniel is dying or that Sean has left the show. No, they're not going to do that. They're not going to. But all the blogs and everyone else have already confirmed that they are.
Well, it's been confirmed that Sean's leaving the show.
Yeah, that was confirmed a long time ago.
Sean Christian.
We talked about it. I mean, I almost feel like, you know, maybe we should, like, when we see things that people are leaving, we should just not talk about it on the show.
Yeah.
Just so it can keep an element of surprise.
Right.
Because I don't want to report, like, oh, something is coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll talk about that.
Yeah. He had headaches. Yeah, but I have headaches.
Tony and Mark,
I have a tumor.
I hope you two aren't driving your vehicle home. No, this is
Martinelli's.
So this is sparkling apple grape. For those of you who think that we're drinking wine, it's not that. It's Martinelli's. I don't drink. Have more.
Since you're pouring. Watch the balloon.
Yes. So that's what happened with the Rafe and Hope storyline.
Yeah.
So moving on to some more tidbits. So I put this part in there because I thought it was very interesting. When Stefano and Andre were talking, and Stefano was just like, maybe this is the end.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Oh, I know.
And I, like, out of everything that happened last week, that was so powerful to hear that he's just like,
I can't do it anymore.
Like, there's nothing else that I can do. Yeah. Like, I've done everything. Like, I'm tired.
Well, we talked about, we think that he might be on the chopping block.
Yeah.
That he may be going peace out. Yeah. I mean, I don't think Andre's going to let that happen. I think Andre's going to kind of pick up where he left off.
But I think this is kind of like that point in a soap where you do have to kind of transition a new villain, because you can't keep Stefano as the villain forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like who's going to be the one to take over
brainwashing.
Andre.
Brainwashing and creating doppelgangers and all that kind of
like all
stuff.
that. Yeah, for
And
like
dropping Hope into a vat of acid, but not really.
and kidnapping Marlena,
Yeah.
the queen of the night.
And presenting John as Roman.
Yeah. Yeah. Who's gonna do all that? I mean, you would naturally think Chad, because he's
Kristen.
She could.
Yep.
She could be the mastermind from someone else. But I thought that was very interesting.
Maybe the end of the Damaras. Yep.
Yep. We talked about the fashion show.
Yep. And then, and then Lonnie's officially a detective now.
Yes.
She is in her street clothes and not in the police uniform anymore.
Good for her.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about this.
Alrighty.
Friday, towards the end.
Well, Thursday, wasn't it?
Oh, Thursday. Sorry, because there was no Friday's
There was
episode.
no Friday.
So, I don't know if people have noticed, and I've mentioned this before, that there have been a lot of scenes where Eric has appeared drunk.
Yes.
Or getting a little intoxicated.
Tipsy, yeah.
And on Thursdays, this past week, we saw him just always intoxicated because things are just really hard for him.
Yeah.
And I mean, I get that things are hard, but I feel like, I don't know if he would be the type of person that would go that route.
Right.
But it's fine. But I kind of wish that it was more of a gradual thing where things were being hit to him like one by one, that we just see him kind of like take that one drink to take the edge off. And then, kind of how Days usually does it is, build it to like, okay, we need to zero in on this because something's going to happen with this. Like, I feel like now all of a sudden it's just like, boom, he's a drunk. And so he interacted with Nicole at first, and he was a bit tipsy and saying like, oh, congratulations. Oh, good thing you have someone photographing it. And Nicole's like, oh, it should have been you. And he's like, well, you got someone else and blah, blah, blah. And
he's going to have a new career.
Yeah. So we saw that, and then we saw him, more drunk later when he was talking to Daniel and Nicole, and at no point did someone say, yeah, we should probably keep an eye on him.
No, she did. Nicole said
she
that.
did. She
and
did.
Then she's like, we need to call him a cab. And have he just didn't want to wait for the cab because it was going to be an hour.
Salem doesn't have Uber?
Yeah.
Or Lyft?
On New Year's Eve, though, it's going to take a while.
Well, maybe.
Yeah.
But, and those charges are going to be out the roof. But anyway.
Yeah.
So then we see that Daniel and Eric have left the gals to go over to Teresa and
Nicole and Daniels.
Daniel and Brady.
Yeah.
Daniel and Brady have gotten in the car together to go to back to Brady and Teresa's.
Yeah, Brady. Yeah.
And the girls are meeting them there so that they can continue the night there. And I love when Days, it's almost like they're wrapping things up in the car and saying certain things and looking forward and how things are perfect and all that, and that shiz is about to hit the fan.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a little silly and I told you this off camera, I'm saying it on camera, that Brady wanted to turn back to go get the gift that Teresa gave him, which I feel like in reality you would just call and be like, hey, I left, what you gave me.
Will you bring it?
But just bring it. See you there. You know what I mean? Or she would have saw it and just would have brought it.
Yeah.
And I feel like the whole turnaround gave enough time to like kind of go back and be on the same plane as Eric.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see a very drunk Eric, like just.
Yeah.
My headphones came off.
You're not missing anything.
Yeah, it's almost like I'm drunk. I promise I'm not.
It's really Martinelli's. So.
Yeah, it really is. I promise everyone that. Oh my gosh, now the cord is on the wrong side. Hold on. Hello from the other side. Okay, so and then at the end, out of nowhere, we see the crash about to happen, but Jennifer's involved.
I know, she just like kind of came out of, and what's so funny is all the pictures and stuff that they post is of her driving.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just like, I don't get it. And then well, you didn't see this, but there's a commercial for next week with Maggie and Victor sitting and Finn and Kayla talking to them. And now this is so confusing to me now because I'm hearing different things in the chat room and stuff because they make it sound like Eric and Brady, Daniel's basically dead. He's basically brain dead.
Yeah.
And Maggie has to decide who she wants to give his heart to keep alive. Brady or Eric. Brady or Eric. So I'm like, so Eric's gonna die now? And then I was like, why? I don't get, like, I knew they just extend his contract. Well, everyone here is saying, no, he's around till April. So I don't understand that commercial now.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, so they both end up living.
I don't know.
I'm just completely confused as to what's going on.
And you mean to tell me they only have one heart? Shouldn't they have another heart coming from somewhere else?
I don't know.
That I'm not sure about that. But yeah. So I feel like now next week we're going to be dealing with this crash, and I don't know how I feel about all these deaths.
I mean, this is, and you know, I was reading, I think Twitter the other day again, I have to agree with all these people that are stating, you know, I don't understand why you have to have somebody leave the show. You have to kill them. Like, it's just getting ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, at what point don't you guys go, okay, well, let's just, you know, we might want to bring them back eventually.
Yeah.
So let's just, you know, let's have them go back to Africa. You know, I'm confused too, Mark.
Why does it have to be Africa?
Because that's where Eric was in Africa.
Oh. I was about to say, excuse your mouth?
No. Oh, and I wanted to say, while you were talking earlier, Leah Mulder wrote on there, she wanted to know what Uber is. She doesn't know what Uber is.
Uber.
I forget that not everybody in the world uses it like we do here in Los Angeles.
So Uber is like...
Lyft, which they probably don't know Lyft either.
Right. Well, it's kind of like a personal taxi driver.
Rideshare.
Like a rideshare where like, you know, it's like this app where if I need a ride somewhere, I don't necessarily have to call a taxi company anymore. I can go on my app and see who's driving around and request them to come pick up. And when someone comes and picks me up, it could be like Mark in his personal vehicle that's been approved by Uber that will then take me to where I need to go. Yeah, and
so that's Uber.
Yeah,
and we use it a lot here in Los Angeles because we don't walk anywhere.
And it's charged.
And taxi cabs hate Uber and Lyft.
And it's, you know, you're just like you get
and it's cheaper. It's cheaper than cabs.
Yeah, sometimes it is, unless they have surges.
Yeah.
So there's that. But now I'm interested to see, you know, what's going to happen with the crash and how they're going to be dealing with it next week, and another tragedy. And also, forgot to mention, I don't know if this happened this week or last, Caroline moved in
to the Kiriakis mansion, and
she's having those visions again, and now one involves Philip. Oh, I think that was Christmas.
Yeah,
though that was a week before. Sorry, but yeah, I'm interested in seeing how that plays out too.
Well, I mean, like you said, we haven't, and you know. I would like to say that maybe they've kept a surprise and maybe Victor will be gone. I don't think that's the case because clearly Days of Our Lives can't keep a secret. Mm-hmm. So I don't think it's Victor. I do think that something's going wacky with her visions. I think it and I think so too, mostly because of this whole thing with Titan and Philip wanting so desperately to produce the serum because it has these side effects, like, you know, that he wants to. I think it's gonna kind of be his downfall, where he's gonna try to sell it or produce it. And I'm sorry, I'm getting tangled up in everything. And then it's gonna turn out that it has some bad effect, and it's gonna hurt him and the business.
Well,
and maybe Caroline.
I feel like maybe what it is that. Caroline keeps envisioning that Victor has a heart attack, but now with this new little piece of Philip coming in, it kind of goes, okay, maybe it's not that.
Oh, I just figured it out.
What?
He's having a heart attack because Daniel's heart is being taken out. You know what I mean? Because he's part of the family, so it's his heart. She knows that something's wrong with the heart. It's not his heart. So it is kind of going kooky. It's going haywire-y, kooky.
And that has been your full week of Days of Our Lives. And now let's get to the segments. And we'll start with my favorite segment.
Do it.
Tony's official 3 Snaps Award.
I got to think of thing for that.
Okay. Well, you said that you've had weeks now to think of a thing.
I've been traveling the world.
So
long, farewell, Alvidas and good night.
Yes. That was dedicated.
Trust me, I
to
did
you.
everything I could to not perform that on those stairs while I was in
I feel like you secretly did. I feel like you
I
secretly
did kind
did.
of scream like a girl when I actually saw where I was. I was like, oh my God!
Oh my God, you got to be kidding me! Excuse me. So once again, I can't use that for my reel. So let me do that again. We are now going into our segments, and we'll start with mine, which is the official 3 Snaps Award. Now,
Is that okay? Can I talk now?
yes, now you can talk. So there was only one person this week that I wanted to give my 3 Snaps Award to.
Billy.
And it was all great until Thursday's episode. And I could relate to this character. I totally got what they were doing and what they were going for. And I said, I'm going to give it to this person. And I'm still going to give it to this person.
Even though you're upset now?
Yes. Even though Thursday's episode kind of wrecked it.
Okay.
So I am giving Tony's official 3 Snaps Award to Belle Black for avoiding Billy Flynn Monday through Wednesday. Exactly what I would have done.
She lasted 3 days longer than I would.
Yes. I was like, you know what? I was like, you go, Belle. Like, I get it. Like, everyone else just falls for the charm and everything like that. I'm with you, Belle. I don't get it. And then Thursday, she was just like, I was like, Belle, no. And I was like, you know what? You still get the 3 Stamps Award, but only from Monday through Wednesday. One for
And
each
then I
day.
give it to you for Thursday.
Nope. So she gets one for Monday, one for Tuesday, and one for Wednesday.
And one for Thursday.
So
She gets the 4 snaps.
So Martha Madison, who plays Belle Black, gets Tony's official 3 Snaps Award for holding strong and not letting Chad DeMira get to her. And there's that.
Excuse me.
That was a good one. All right. And now we do have
a segment.
Our next segment presented by James Locke Jr., which is Look Who's Related. And even though he's not here, he did send in the video to make sure that you guys were not left out. So let's take a look at James Locke Jr.
People ask me, how is Philip Kate's son? Aren't Philip and Belle related? No. Here's the deal. So, long time ago, John Black thought he was Forrest Alamein. So before Philip and Belle came into the picture, he thought he was an Alamein. And now Philip is actually Kate and Victor's biological son, but Vivian Alamein stole the embryo and implanted it herself and gave birth to him. So Philip has 2 mommies, so to speak.
Yeah.
So the whole Philip and Belle, no, they're not related at all. When he thought he was an Alamein, they weren't even born. If it continued, they would have been cousins. But that's, again, something that we find out later is not even biological. They were ex-husband, ex-wife, so we know that. But no, if Philip is the son of Kate and Victor via surrogate by Vivian, and of course Belle is John and Marlena's. So I hope that answers the question there. I love you guys' questions and asking me how to clarify things. And that's it. Look Who's Related.
All right.
Perfect.
And there we have that.
Look Who's Related.
Look Who's- yeah.
Are we?
And that has been James Locke Jr.'s Look Who's Related. All right. And now it's time for our next segment, which is Mark's Quote of the Week.
Yay! And my quote of the week this week, and I was so bummed that we didn't do a show last Sunday because I had so many quotes of the week last week, and then this week I was having a tough time, but I did pick one. And my quote of the week this week will actually go to Belle Black Brady as well. Madison, Belle Black Brady, right? Belle Black Brady.
Okay.
Belle Black is her, and then Sean Douglas Brady. Yeah, so
Okay,
Belle
yeah.
Brady.
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, so all of a sudden that sounded wrong to me.
Uh-oh.
It's gonna go to her for when she was talking to Chad, and Chad comes over and says, "Why would you go out with Philip?" He asked. So did I. He asked, and he's not you.
That was a good one.
So Martha Madison, she gets my quote of the week
Yeah.
as well as the 3 snaps. She got a little double header this week.
It has been a great week for Belle.
Yeah.
So that has been Mark's quote of the week. And now, do we have?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I talked to James earlier today, and when I had sent the message to our group about our fan of the week, and as I always ask you guys, you know, any suggestions, any person that stands out, and me and James, and I think you will kind of agree with this as well, came across one name kind of popped up in our heads because it's somebody that we noticed that she's always posting on our Dishin Days page, on our pages, always helping with, giving us information about the show and stuff like that. And she's always in the chat room. So we thought it was high time we gave our fan of the week to Miss Annie Goen.
Oh, yes.
Because she has been a trooper from pretty much the beginning.
Yeah.
And she's always, like, even when we were not on air last week and stuff, she was posting in our Dishin Days and stuff like that. So we thought we would give it to Miss Annie Goen this week.
Well, there you go. Annie, congratulations on being our fan of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you want me to do the other?
What?
Because I came up with one for the...
For the whole year?
Yeah.
Okay, for 2015.
2015?
We have our fan of the year.
Fan of the year. Yeah.
And do we have a drum roll effect?
Oh, we do! Oh, I love it!
Our 2015
Fan
Dishin Days fan of the year goes to...
And I'm kind of bummed because I don't think he's in the chat room.
Oh my God, are you going to give it to who I think you're going to give it to?
I'm going to give it to Daquan Jenkins.
Oh!
I'm going to give it to Daquan, yeah. I mean, I think we talked about it too a little bit off air. He's been around, he might give me crap every time he talks, but... and maybe this will get him to call in one day, since he never calls in and converses with us.
Oh my God, I really want him to call in.
But
I really want him to call in.
I thought he was well deserving of fan of the year.
Well, Daquan, congratulations.
As I remember it, that first time I hosted, when you weren't here, when you were gone, we had Chad and Hera.
Yeah.
I can remember him being in the chat room. That was like the third week, I think. And I can remember him being in there arguing with him
I feel like since day one. Since the first day you said, I don't like Melanie, which I think was the first show.
Yeah, exactly.
So there we have it. Look at that olive branch being extended out to Daquan.
Well, I still don't like him, but... I love you, Daquan.
All right, you guys, as we get into some news and gossip, we are going to open the chat lines so that you guys can give us a call and give us your thoughts.
Phone lines.
So you can give us a call at 424-256-1633. Again, that's 424-256-1633. Give us a call. Chat with us live for our last few minutes. And I'm going to quickly go over this brief news and gossip that we have.
Okay, I put it in there.
All right, so basically there was a link that came out. This article is in the latest Soap Opera Digest, where Ken Corday explains the switch of Jason Cook and Brandon Beamer. And according to Ken, the reason for the switch was because, Jason Cook also wanted to do films. Or wanted it in his contract to where, like, if he got booked a role for a film, that he would be able to go and do it. Days was like, we love you, however, you cannot do that. Like, we need you to be on the show.
Yeah.
So they are very grateful and thankful that Jason was able to be a part of the show when they did, but they definitely wanted to carry on the Belle, Phillip, Sean Douglas storyline, and so they brought in Brandon Beamer. And as you guys know, Brandon will be returning to reprise the role as Sean D, and we don't have an air date for him as of yet. So there's that explanation. I think a lot of people wanted to know that, and so that article definitely explains it. All right, let's get to some live phone calls on my birthday. All right, so caller number 1, hello, welcome to AfterBuzz TV's Dishin Days. You are on live. What's your name and where are you calling from?
On the day that you were born, the angels got together and decided to create a dream come true. It's James Lott Jr. calling from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. How are you?
Hi, James Lott Jr. Oh my gosh, you are missing all of this wonderful chit chat about days, and then they're gonna miss you on GH Report because somebody decided to extend Christmas.
Yeah. I am watching you guys right now, of course. Great. You guys both look great tonight.
Thank you. Oh, did you see the setup that Mark did? He got the balloon.
I know. I'm scared of him.
And
he actually did something.
Yes, and I purposely came in late so that he could like have everything set up, so I wouldn't walk in on it. And
because he's always here early, James.
Yeah, and I can walk in and be like, oh, me? For me? Oh my gosh, for me? It's my birthday? For me? Yeah.
I'm just shocked I got through my first. I'm like, it was kind of crazy.
I know, right?
And it's kind of weird watching the show so late in the evening back here. It's kind of weird.
Ooh.
Our show, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of weird about here.
Yeah.
It's birthday, Tony Kins. Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, my chocolate twin, the Quiet Storm.
Of course. And to answer your question, Mark, you were correct. Philip is the uncle of Brady.
Yes.
Well, look at you knowing something.
See, I do. Every once in a while.
Every once in a
and it doesn't
while.
have to do with Chad and Mara.
For the first time ever in life. Oh, well, okay. Well, James, while we have you on the phone, what did you think of the fashion show?
Oh my God! I was like, I can't see it. Like, where is it?
It's dark.
I'm like, to me, they should have called CBS and asked Bold and the Beautiful some tips on how to do a fashion show on a soap. That's first.
That would never would have happened. But
yeah, I know. And secondly, I agree with you guys. I'm sure there are many up-and-coming designers in Los Angeles
yep.
who would happily say, here you go.
Yeah.
Take my designs, feature my name in the credits, whatever, and showcase them. It's Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So I completely agree with you guys. Like, why didn't they do that? But the lighting was just off. The music was good and fine. It was just a little off. I'm like, they need to lighten it up, and I don't know. It just didn't completely work for me.
Yeah.
At all.
No, that's me.
And you have these two beautiful actors, Christopher Sean and Camila Banus. You can't see them.
No.
Yeah.
Although you have to give it to Camila, she found that light, and when she hit that into that runway and she turned and gave that back and that little side face, I was like, oh, she knows what she's doing. She knows it.
She did find her light, kind of, but poor Christopher Sean.
Yeah.
He didn't find his light. It was crazy. So I don't know. I just thought the fashion show was a mismatch.
Yeah.
It could have been done better. And if they do more, hopefully they'll still see this and do better next time.
Well, one can only hope. Well, James,
like you, my arms are wide open.
Well, you know, as a fan of Days, my arms are just here wide open and then just receiving all the information they want me to receive.
Yes. And I also agree with you guys. Our buddy Martha Madison, we love you, Martha. Great week this week.
Killing it as Belle, right?
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Shout out to Martha Madison.
Belle. I liked it. I like the new Philip. I like it.
I do too.
I like it.
Yes. I like some of it too.
I will get off the phone so others can call in. I know people want to call in, but I'm glad I was first.
Yes. We're glad you're first,
and
too.
I am watching you guys. Good job. Work that jacket, Tony.
Well,
I love it.
You know, I had to add a little drama for my birthday.
No, I love it.
You know,
I love it.
I feel like I'm on the Salem PD. Like with this jacket, it's just kind of like.
It's so funny.
Oh.
Well, you guys, I love you guys, and everybody who's watching, I love you guys too. I'll go back to the chat room and see what I have to say.
All right.
Thank you, James Lott Jr.
James.
Have fun.
Bye, guys.
Bye. All right, we have some more callers. Hello, caller. Welcome to AfterBuzz TV's DISHIN Days. You are on live. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hello? Hello? Okay, well, I don't think that caller is there. So let's try the next caller. Hello, caller. You are on live on AfterBuzz TV's DISHIN Days. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, it's Carolyn from Connecticut. How are you guys?
Hey, Carolyn. We're doing good. How are you?
Good. Happy birthday, Tony.
Oh, thank you.
And Mark, I have to say, I loved your periscopes from Germany. That was really cool.
Oh, thank you. I wasn't sure because I was getting internet sometimes and sometimes I wasn't, so I wasn't sure what was going through and what people could see and whatnot. So, thank you.
And
Oh, you're welcome.
Carolyn, thank you for giving me the option of getting one of your books. That was very nice.
I was going to tell you, I haven't forgotten. I will respond. I just haven't.
Oh, you got one too? Mm-hmm. Oh, I thought I was special. I'm kidding, Carolyn. But that was very nice.
I think around my birthday, so
yeah. Well, that was very nice of you. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to picking one so I can read what you wrote.
Here's my thing, and this is nothing against you, Carolyn, but every time I go to Barnes and Noble and they try to get me to buy the you pay for the yearly thing so you get discount on the books and stuff, I always say no because I really just don't. If I'm telling you right now, if you hand me a book and I sit down to read it, I'm going to fall asleep. Has nothing to do with the book. It's just me sitting still that long. I just fall asleep. My body just like, what's going on?
You have to start talking to yourself.
I'm definitely going to get one, and I'm going to do my best to stay awake and read it again. It has nothing to do with you or your book, Carolyn. It's just me and my eyes.
Don't worry. Don't worry. His husband will read it to him at night.
He will. Actually, my husband probably will read it before I do. He probably will, and it's not even his first language.
Well, did you have a question or comment while we have you on the line?
Actually, I had two things from this past week.
Okay.
My first thing was, one of the things that I was kind of bummed about was the fashion show, in my mind, was almost like the replay of that big build-up to the gala for the Days' 50th.
Oh,
that was like,
yeah.
Oh, my God, really?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Nothing. Yeah. And then the fashion show was like the same thing. There was this huge build-up for months and months. We all knew this was happening. And I was like, that's it? I blinked. Wait, I missed something. Did I miss something? It was really bad.
Yeah.
It just was, there was nothing there. And then that leads sort of into my other comment. Well, first of all, so one thing you said about Camila is if you've ever seen her Instagram pictures, this is a girl who knows how to model clothes.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And model, period.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. She's amazing.
Yeah. So that's a girl who knows what she's doing.
But the other thing was, all I was going to say was that I'm really feeling like some of the characters who are these really outstanding actors that we've seen in daytime and like, for example, also with Christopher Sean, who we see on Hawaii Five-0 killing it.
Mm.
Yeah.
They're being used as props. I mean, you have this beautiful actress playing Lonnie.
Yeah.
They brought her on. They made her Abe's daughter. My God.
Yeah.
And she's just like a prop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Christopher Sean is like now relegated to being a prop.
Mm-hmm. And Nicole. I would say Nicole, too.
Oh, my God, yeah, Nicole, really? You have this brilliant daytime actress, really. And she's like, she basically says, okay, let Teresa wear her clothes. And then she sits in the background and has a drink.
Yeah.
And it just, they're missing a lot. They're missing a lot. I'm bummed about it because they're not bringing it. And then anytime they give a lot of screen time to the new teen Fave Soras, I'm like, well, can we give some real story first?
Yeah, right,
and then let's
exactly.
play with the teenagers later.
Yeah.
That's how I was feeling this past week.
Yeah. No, I don't think you're alone in most of those thoughts.
Not at all. I think we're right there with you.
And in the chat, James Lott Jr. even agrees with you in the chat room.
Yeah.
Speaking of the chat room, Carolyn, while you're on the phone, I saw in there a couple people have asked how to find your books on Amazon. They were having trouble finding your books.
Oh, that's so sweet of them. Do you mind if I
go ahead?
Do it.
Give him. Okay. Well, I go under the name Carolyn, and then you have to use my maiden name also in the middle, Levina Levine. So it's Carolyn Levine Topol.
Oh, okay.
And if you type that into Amazon under books, or all departments, it'll pop you into my book page.
Oh, okay.
If you go into Amazon. Also, that's my web address, CarolynLevineTopol.com.
Topol?
Topol, like the tooth polish.
Okay.
Why don't you send us a message on our Facebook page, DISHIN Days, and we'll post it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet of you. Thank
Absolutely.
you. I'll do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll post it on there.
Yeah. And maybe just when you go back into the chat room, write it in there too, because people in the chat room just now were asking. So.
Yeah.
Oh, they don't let me type in web pages because someone once asked me a web page about a Days thing, and it says you can't type a web page in.
Ugh.
Well,
we'll say it on air.
Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, so we're gonna get to a few more phone calls before we have to wrap up. But thank you so much for always calling in and supporting us, and make sure you message us so we can post it.
Oh, thanks a bunch. Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year to you too. All right, so we're gonna take a really quick phone calls before we wrap things up. So we'll take our next caller. Hello, caller. You are on live on AfterBuzz TV's Dishin Days. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Oh, my God. Oh, hi. Hi, everybody. Hi, it's Jamel from Brooklyn.
Hey, how you been?
I think Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, too. Sorry if I sound like I'm rushing, but we have to wrap things up pretty soon. So what's your question or comment that you have regarding this week?
Well, I don't really have too much to say because it's the end of the show, but I will say I feel a little mad with NBC for spoiling the shock that we're going to have this week. Because they had promotion of, who lived, who died.
Yeah.
I thought that pretty stinky that they did that because it was so shocking, the commercial. Now I know what we're going to get this week.
Yeah.
And so I agree with the fashion show. Even though I sort of liked it, and I'm also really loving Jenna Braun, her character, how very sneaky she is. And it was hard after Will and all that stuff that happened, but I'm actually trying to warm up to the people and to the writing. And the Tamara Braun, I know she's going to do crazy things. So I'm really getting reinvested after they betrayed us with Will. Unceremoniously,
Yeah.
And so I'm really getting back into it. And I'm glad that they wrapped up Ben's story like it was driving me crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was.
I was
gonna say I wish I could have quote when it was really happening, but when Will died, I think that if he would have found his M and Diva, he would have scratched that damn eyes out and really survived. That was terrible the way they did it. And it's just in 2015, I'm rambling, in 2015, but it's still been there, that sort of way he left. But yeah, I'm liking it. But what the shock this week is gonna be crazy. And unfortunately, you saw it in the commercial. Oh my God.
But I also feel like what we see, like these little teasers and stuff, what we see is absolutely what we get. It's kind of like when they show a movie trailer and and the whole trailer is basically the movie. You go to see the movie and there's really nothing much more exciting than what you saw in the trailer. So I feel like even with Tamara Braun, it's like they have a cast of amazing people that they're not using to their abilities. So I'm just going to say this. Don't get too excited and because I don't want you to get your bubble burst with Tamara, because I just have a feeling it's going to be build up, drop the ball, like Charlie Brown and Lucy,
Yeah, what they did with Eve.
Exactly.
Exactly. She's such a brilliant actress, and they lost her.
Yeah.
But you're right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I got through. Happy birthday, Mr. Brown. Brown the night tonight. Mr. Brown.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Well, thank you for always calling in and watching us and supporting us. And I'm sure we'll talk to you again soon.
If I can get through.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye. All right, so thank you guys for always calling in and supporting us. That has been this week of Dishin Days. But before we go, Mark J. Freeman, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter, and I'm trying to be better about Instagram. I kind of sometimes don't post as much as I could. But Instagram and Twitter at Lorraine Love, LORAYNE LOVE, and on Facebook / the Mark J. Freeman.
And of course, you guys can find me on all social media platforms at Lounging with Tony or my website, loungingwithtony.com. And hey, don't forget to add us on Instagram or Facebook at Dishin Days. We'll see you back next week for another full recap of your favorite soap opera, Days of Our Lives. Bye-bye.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.